Hello, BookTube. Ziggy, come here, come here, come here. Ziggy's here. Ziggy, come here. Up, 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 up. Ah! Here he is. Believe it or not, this video is about the Bible. Okay. Okay, let's calm down. I am starting a big read through of the Bible. And, starting with the book of Genesis. So I was gonna, chronologically, starting with the. So I wanted to share my thoughts on just the book of Genesis and my initial impressions on reading the Bible in general. Initial impressions are what the heck is going on? It's I didn't expect anyone to live till like 200 years old or 150 years old or whatever, but like all of these first people are, and I don't know if I was thinking maybe that the the length of years might have been different, like maybe like 6 months was a year or something and they lived to like 70, or I don't know, or maybe they're kind of moon cycles and they only lived to like 40. That would make more sense with because life expectancy can't have gone down from. It is a work of fiction, I think. Um, well, it has to be. How insane it is. Um, but God gives Adam and Eve the garden. He gives them paradise after he has created the earth. But he's also created the serpent, right? Like, so. So God provided both temptation and evil. Like, God. Well, it's not even evil. It's so Eve acquires the knowledge of good and evil, and this is what allows humans to become mortals. So they don't anymore live in paradise. They now have, this is the fall of man to mortality. And God decides to punish people for this, for him giving temptation, and um, he decides to punish them. So he makes it so Adam has to um, dig in the dirt for food, and so that Eve feels pain during childbirth, um, which um, I just imagined um, how that would not how those the sins of Eve and Adam would not be absolved in the persecution of Christ. But I don't know. That's way later in the book than I'm at right now. I'm about to start Exodus, but the setting for Exodus. So Exodus is the Jews leaving Egypt, but the Genesis shows us how they got there, and after God hits a big reset, he just wipes the whole planet. You know, don't bark, Ziggy. Come here, come here, Ziggy, come here. He doesn't want it. God resets the planet with a massive flood, and then it suddenly has to be propagated by Noah and his sons and the wives of Noah's sons. This this kind of gets me into the Bible is about the men. Um and when a woman is mentioned, it's like, oh, he falls in love with this woman, and then the next paragraph is like, and then he got another wife, and this wife was, and so like, or half the time, like the women are used to play tricks on men. Like they're like, "Oh, here's my daughter who is your cousin, and you could just have her if you work for me for 7 years." And then Jacob's like, "Okay, that sounds great." And he works for 7 years, and then his uncle's like, "Here's my daughter, you can have her now," and he gives them to her in the dark, and Jacob's like, "Yay!" and he has sex with her, and then he wakes up in the morning and he's like, "Wait, this isn't the girl I wanted." And the guy's like, "Yeah, I couldn't give you the girl I wanted. And what would everyone think? You got to work another 7 years." And so he does, and he ends up with both wives. He ends up with both of his cousins. So that's just Jacob. Um, the story of Joseph is really interesting. Joseph is referred to his brothers as the dreamer. Um, but he has the power to interpret dreams, and he shows off this mystical ability, and his brothers are totally envious of him because he's like seen as more valuable in the eyes of their father. And so, Zeke, come here, come here, up here. And so they throw him in a pit, and then they're like, "Okay, cool, our brother's in a pit." And then they see Ishmaelites, they call them, coming past in a big caravan, and they're like, "Ooh, you know how we can actually get rid of our brother? Let's sell him to those guys." And so they sell him into slavery, make some money off of him. Um, and Joseph gets sold to the court of the Pharaoh, ends up in Egypt, the setting of Exodus. But Joseph uses his dream telling ability to befriend the Pharaoh. He becomes a big spot on Pharaoh's court, and the Pharaoh doesn't seem so bad, like compared to all over the Bible. There's mentions of slavery everywhere, everywhere. Like um, the only time there's a problem with it is when it happens to the Jewish people. Like everywhere else, it's like there's this verse where it mentions he armed his 318 trained servants who were born in his own house. It's like if the servants were born in your house, they're slaves, right? And this was just to this was Abram trying to save ooh, I don't remember much of this part. I don't remember much of what happened with Abram. Abram and Shem, and it's really some of the stories are weird compared to the other ones. Like in the I was going to say in the beginning, but that's the book of John. At the start of this, like we get, well, no, it does say in the beginning. Um, yeah, the temptation and fall of man. We get the Garden of Eden. We get the story of Cain and Abel, the Great Flood. Like it's on a roll off the start, and then we start to get this catalog of descendants of people and Sodom and Gomorrah. I'm not really understanding of what's going on in Sodom and Gomorrah yet. The kings of Sodom and Gomorrah are heavily involved in the life of Abram, and um, but this is the first time I've encountered anyone named Abram, anyone named Lot, anyone named Shem. Um, those are definitely not names used from the Bible. Abra is a name in East of Eden, which I'm planning on reviewing soon. I'm about to finish up East of Eden. Um, those are my thoughts on the book of Genesis. A lot's going on here, and there's a lot of connections I made mentally, like everywhere, like um, just symbolism used here, or all over it'll say like to find favor in their eyes, and like I've heard people try to use that as poetics before, like a pickup line or something like, "Oh, let me find favor in your eyes." um, no, it's there's a lot going on. I'm actually excited to read the original King James version of this after getting the understanding of the story. Because there are parts of this, like say for instance in the the dying of Jacob, um, or Israel is also his name. There's one point where it's like, yeah, God changed his name to Israel, and then half the time they still call him Jacob. So, which is literally dead naming. But whatever Jacob or Israel. What I was saying is that the poetics of the dying words of Israel are they seem it seems like the original was had some spark to it, some where the meanings of the words when it's just translated to English is talking about like donkeys and fires and things, but like it feels like it would have been something with more imagery and more and the space between the words probably works better in the original Greek, Aramaic, Hebrew. I need to do more research into what the history of the Bible, but it seems like if you choose a religious history, you end up with this was written. Well, a religious history thinks that the timeline of the world is shorter. Um, I don't know if you have any recommendations about how to get to know the Bible more. Secondary readings besides just the Bible itself. Ziggy's chasing a fly. That's what's going on. Maybe I'll help him catch this fly. I think that's what I'll go do. I won't actually. I'm gonna let him keep running around chasing it. It tires him out. Thanks for watching. I'm gonna make a video about Exodus maybe next week. No guarantees. Have a good day, BookTube.